What happens when a person dies? Do heaven and hell really exist? This video may change your perception of life. In 1975, Raymond Moody, known as the father of near-death experiences by the New York Times, interviewed 150 people who were clinically pronounced dead and then revived. He meticulously documented and analyzed the after-death events they experienced. What surprised him was that this group of individuals, regardless of their cultural background, education, age, or even religious beliefs, described remarkably similar near-death experiences. Some patients initially encountered a very bright light and then found themselves in a beautiful world filled with the sounds of birds and the fragrance of flowers. This place was warm and inviting, akin to what people describe as heaven. Immersed in this beauty, they found it hard to extricate themselves. This state indicated that they were becoming deeper entrenched in their near-death experience. They also sensed that someone was calling to them. Although they could not clearly see the faces, they felt it was their loved ones. Meanwhile, in the real world, doctors were desperately trying to save the patients. After a brief but warm interaction, the patients' vital signs gradually began to stabilize, and their consciousness started to awaken, ultimately leading them to completely escape life-threatening danger. Another type of experience involved patients feeling as if they suddenly entered a muddy underground area, where they could see nothing but darkness. Although it was dark, it wasn't cold, and they could hear the sound of mechanical impacts coming from nowhere. They also sensed the presence of numerous black, slender roots around them. Then the scene would shift, bringing them to a beautiful valley, where they felt as free as a butterfly, experiencing an unprecedented comfort. A few hours later, the patients were revived by the doctors. Although these near-death experiences were very brief, they left a lasting impression on those who experienced them. Afterward, these survivors began to place greater importance on expressing love and cherished the companionship of family and loved ones. Dr. Moody still finds it challenging to provide definitive explanations for these near-death experiences, but he has proposed a few bold hypotheses. The first is that the brain produces dreamlike responses to certain events or stimuli. The second possibility is that damage to the frontal lobe of the brain may lead to the patients experiencing time-space distortions and emotional fluctuations. Finally, he suggests that the hallucinations may arise due to a lack of oxygen in the brain during the near-death process. Death is a complex process, and no one has successfully revived after truly dying. While we may not want to face death, according to the law of entropy, one day we will all turn to dust and disappear into the universe. Thus, the end point of life is not what matters most. What truly matters is that we learn to enjoy the process, cherish the family that loves us dearly, the friends with deep bonds, and everything we have in this moment. Being at peace with life is the true essence of our existence.